It doesn't.
Linked. Let me show you how those two arguments are linked. And I'm going to take you down a little path to demonstrate this. Most of the ways that you and I measure time are derived from the universe. We have looked out into the universe and we've noticed that things happen with such precision and on such a regular cycle that we use it to define time here on Earth. We have seen a pattern in the universe, so we set our clocks by it. We measure time based on the patterns we see in the universe. So, for example, a year. A year is the time that it takes the Earth to go around the sun. It is roughly 365 days. It's not exactly 365 days. It's a little bit off, and that's why we have to have a leap year once in a while to kind of make up for missing time or added time. I can never remember which way it goes, and that's why in a year that ends in a double zero, you skip your leap year. Are you with me? Yeah, sure. A year is the time that it takes the Earth to go around the sun, right? Are you with me on that? That's where we got our year. Now, how long is a month? A month is the time that it takes the moon to go around the Earth. Literally, the old word was moonth, but moonth is not easy to say, and so we say month. It is the time, roughly 28 days, let's say, that it takes the moon to go around the Earth. We measure that time based on stuff that we see out there in space. Now, here's a very interesting thing. Just a side note. If the moon were not the density and size that it were, and if it were not out at 240,000 miles from the surface of the Earth, if it weren't in that place with that measurement and that density, it wouldn't do a very good job of holding our Earth's tilt stable. And our Earth's tilt is responsible for the seasons. That's why when we go around the sun, we get spring and summer. Very interesting to me that God promises Noah in the book of Genesis that seasons will always be stable and always be there. And one of the things God uses to hold the Earth in that tilt and keep it stable is the moon at 240,000 miles out. Very interesting point, but not my point at all. A month is the time that it takes the moon to go around the Earth. You see it? We measure stuff based on the patterns that we see. How long is a day? How long is a day? A day is the time that it takes the Earth to do what? Rotate on its axis all the way around. We say 24 hours. It's not quite 24 hours. Again, that's why we need leap years and so on to fine-tune the calendar. We have a year, we have a month, we have a day. They are all based on stuff we see in the heavens. Now, here's a good question for you. Where in the world do we get a week? Where does a week come from? It's not based on anything in the heavens. Some people say, well, it's roughly 1/4 of the moon cycle. Well, why? Why would we divide the moon cycle into 4? What is there in outer space that we have observed that is 1 week long? There is absolutely nothing. It doesn't exist. If you want to know why we have a week, you got to go to the book of Genesis chapter 2, where it says that God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. Now all of a sudden you have a week, and the Bible is the only place that you get an intelligent answer for why we have a week in our calendar. Are you thinking about this? Are you with me? Okay, good. Now, let's go back to our reasons for God's existence and think about this. Aquinas said morality tells us God is there. He also said design tells us that God is there, and those things are related because those two concepts appear in one of the most important pivotal chapters in the entire Bible. Those two concepts appear in the very same verse, right in the very middle of the 10 Commandments in Exodus chapter 20. The Bible says, "For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." 6 days, 7 days, there is the design. It says God made. Gives us the reason for the week, tells us God designed it, and where is it found? Right in the middle of God's moral law. There it is. Morality and design hung in one of the most prominent places of the Bible. God's saying, listen, if you want to find me, it's not that hard. I'm going to hang the notice in the post office and in the town square. You can come and find me anytime, anywhere. Aquinas worked on this problem forever. It's always been in the Bible. God said, I'm not that hard to find. Are you following me? All right. If you want somebody to notice something, put it in a prominent place. And what's really interesting when God says that, he starts with the word remember. You notice that? It's kind of like God knew everybody would forget that he created the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that in them is. God starts it with the word remember. Okay, night number 2. We're still reviewing. Everybody still with me? Are you with me? I can see you there. I know. Okay. How we became human. We looked at this idea, where does the human race come from? And we found out that as far as we can...